We have a lot of people in the back that are going to wish you a happy day. This is your life. And I have some things I'd like to share with you that Carol sent you from San Diego. Okay. She says, "Hi, Daddy. You have a lot of great friends at Normanna, and we've met many of them. What a wonderful surprise they have planned for you. I wish we could be there with you to see the surprised look on your face." And she goes on to say, "My dad has had many hobbies, interests, and careers. There are lots of fond memories of our whole family boating and picnicking on Hat Island, the Jetty, Deception Pass, and other places. He bought his first boat when I was in grade school and kept upgrading to larger ones. I'm sure money was tight, but he always found a way to put gas in the boat so we could go do these fun trips. He would often let me drive the boat to or from Hat Island, and then he would take over as we approached shore. I can almost smell and hear the sizzling of the hot dogs and hamburgers as they cooked over the fire. Those were great days. Thank you for all the wonderful times. With love from your daughter, Carol."
Thank you, Carol.
I don't know if everybody knows this, but some of our dad's accomplishments include making phonograph records in the 1940s, being a home movie producer, working as a photographer in the 1940s, being a part-time minister, working as an auto mechanic, being an avid salmon fisherman, becoming a professional wedding photographer after he retired, teaching himself to play the organ, learning to speak Norwegian again, being a member of Mustangs Northwest, restoring Mustang cars and driving dignitaries in numerous parades, being president of Normanna more than once, learning to dance every dance known to man and then teaching them to everybody else, not being intimidated by today's technology and becoming a pro with a cell phone, digital camera, and computer. And this isn't bragging, these are just the facts. So congratulations, Daddy, on your special day.
Thank you.
And we have another speaker. This is one of my other siblings, Dave.
David.
Good evening.
You're on the phone earlier.
Well, congratulations on your special day, Dad. This is your life. And thank you all for being here, whether you want to be here or not. My name's David. I am the second boy in the family. Our oldest brother is Lloyd Jr. He's spending the winter in Palm Springs enjoying being a snowbird. He sent some paperwork for me to read to you, if you don't mind, to share with us and share with your dad. He said, and of course, these are old memories going way back because we're all a bunch of old people ourselves. He said he remembered, this is Lloyd Jr., he said he remembered once when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade that he and Dad went to Wyoming, and Dad took him along on this business trip to Wyoming. He said it was the first time I had ever been away from home. And I think that was the first time Dad was ever away from the family. We had a great time. The other time you mentioned here was that when Lloyd Jr. was going to go get his driver's license, the office, the state patrol office, wasn't very far away from our house, but Dad drove the car down to the state patrol and left Lloyd there with the car, assuming that he would pass the test. And so when he passed the test and drove the car home himself, although he was pretty proud of Dad to let him get the state patrol office all by himself and assumed that he was going to pass the test. He thought that was pretty cool. And then one of the things he remembers about being an older person himself was being able to get involved with Dad and Mother in their wedding photography business and helping them take pictures of people who were getting married. He said that was a very fun time to be hanging out with folks that way. And my own thoughts are this. When I was about 15 or so, Dad decided we were going to be boat racers. So we spent many weekends and nights sitting working in the shop in our garage, building a race boat for me to race. And we spent a lot of other time trying to put the motor together and keep learning how to make it faster. Dad's always been a mechanic in the family, so we spent many, many hours in the basement working on motors and rebuilding motors and building boats and all that stuff. And I spent a lot of years, about 8 years with Dad, going all around the Northwest to boat races. And I think that was a very special time in my life. Had a good time, won a few trophies, thanks to his expertise. and I really appreciated the time we spent together when I was a teenager. So thank you, Dad. I love you, and thank you very much, and congratulations on This Is Your Life.
I remember when you had that microphone.
You have too much
I
already.
remember one time, just before Lloyd Jr. was to go in the Air Force, he decided he wanted to buy another car, and so he bought a 1954 Ford Victoria hardtop with the transparent top on it, you know, and he didn't have that car a week until he wrecked it. Smashed the front end all up. And we went down to a wrecking yard and we found the front fenders, and the grill, and the radiator and all that off another car. We put it on there and away he went. I didn't see him for 4 years.
You might recognize him.
Oh, my goodness.
This is my dad's brother, Gene, and his wife Marie, that have come from Mount Vernon.
Well, I'm sure glad to be here to see my brother Lloyd. I was a little bit younger,
We all were.
but we three slept in the same bed together. And I was generally in the middle, you know, in that whole house. But Lloyd, he had a pompadour hair, you know. I would wiggle my finger in his hair when we were sleeping. You know? He had an Indian motorcycle, you know, that was in the old barn down there. And when he'd leave, my younger brother, Don, and I, we'd get on that motorcycle and push it a little ways, push it back in the barn. And I don't know whether he knew we did it or not, but then he had another car there that was an old Chalmers. And it was, didn't have no windows.
Made the trailer out of it.
Oh, he made a trailer out of it. But we'd get in that thing after Lloyd would leave and step on the starter and put it in gear, and it would go a little way, and then we'd put it in reverse and back it up and take off. And then Lloyd, he was, he had some pretty nice friends, I thought. They were always there at our house. And when they take off, the ground would fly behind them, you know. And then when I met Marie here, we decided to get married, and I went to the place down here, the courthouse, to get a license, and they said, you gotta have a witness, so I went and got Lloyd, and he witnessed for us, and we got our marriage license. And then Lloyd, he took our pictures at the wedding, and I don't know, it was kind of a skimpy one, but it was all right, you know, it lasted a long time. Oh yeah, it did. Well, anyhow, Lloyd, I got this here picture for you, and I think you ought to open it.
Okay. Getting back to that motorcycle, you know.
Oh yeah.
That thing I traded a pair of roller skates and my bicycle and $1 for that old motorcycle. I wouldn't run, and I pushed it into the barn, and I kicked and I kicked and I kicked that thing, and I never would run it for one day. The barn was full of chickens and cows and calves and all that stuff, and rabbits. And I kicked that thing one day just once, and it started up, and I couldn't shut it off. I don't know how I got it shut off. Everybody was running out of the barn.
Yeah, Lloyd, we had chickens, pigs, and rabbits on that little old farm of 7 acres, you know. And I don't know where Lloyd got these rabbits, but he was making rabbit hutches, and I think he wound up with about 60 rabbits, you know. But, yeah, and we cleaned them rabbits, and yeah, we had quite a life, I'll tell you. It was fun growing up with him, and
Yeah, this is a beautiful picture.
I don't know if you got a picture like that or
Yeah,
not,
I
but,
do, but it's smaller.
oh,
This is a picture of my family on my dad's side.
yeah. Yeah, this is his dad and his grandpa, grandma, and his 2 uncles, 3 uncles really, and Aunt Minnie.
This one here is my dad on this end here.
I didn't know if you had a picture like that or not, 'cause I didn't have one. And,
It's not fixed like nice like this, and I thank you so much.
well, it's our pleasure.
Let's see here.
We have some other family members here at the too.
Oh, boy.
This is my daughter Janet, one of her little girls, 14. This is my husband Rick.
Hi, Rick.
And Daddy, I know you thought our marriage would never last, but it's now 38 years.
What a wonderful family.
You didn't think much of the kid when he met me the first time.
I'll have to, this guy's Irish. His birthday's on St. Patrick's Day. Right? I gotta tell you a little story about the Irish. You know, Martha and I, one night, we were here at Normanna, danced till 11:30. We got in the car, and we always hook up our seatbelts. This night, we went down Hewitt, turned on Broadway, got down by QFC. Here was the red and yellow lights and the blue lights right behind us. And so the cop stopped us, and I opened the window, and I says, what's wrong, officer? He says, you don't have your seatbelts hooked up. And we looked, and sure enough, we didn't have it hooked up. But we said, we always have our seatbelts hooked up. But we didn't do it tonight. And we said, well, we've been up in Normanna dancing and having a good time, and we just forgot all about it. I said, we're Norwegian, and we like to dance. He said, I'm Irish. And you know what Martha said? We just love the Irish. I said, put up your seatbelts and go home. So glad to have you all here, but I tell you, this really, that picture that she held here a little bit ago, no, the first one. Where is it?
When you had hair?
Yeah, when I had hair. I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't, of course, they didn't know me then, but I sure have a lot of friends now. And there's an awful lot of them right here at Normanna. And I just thank you all for this wonderful tribute, or whatever you want to call it.
Roast. It's a roast.
A roast, okay. I feel roasted now. I'm kind of warm. Thank you all very much. I love you all.
My name's David, and one of the sons, my wife Linda's here too. I just want to introduce my family that's here tonight. So, and this next we have Daryl, I do believe, right?
Linda helped me get onto eBay.
We're still working on it.
Well, Lloyd, about 6 years ago, Tom and Christina Bumala were visiting with their mother in a rest home or retirement home in South County, and happened to mention how much they had fun dancing ballroom and pattern dancing here at Normanna. And she suggested that you start a little dance group and come down there and do a dance for the retirement. And it was such a success that they asked that it was broadcast all over, and pretty soon there was all kinds of requests coming in for people from all kinds of retirement homes and rest homes for you to bring your group down and perform. And that's how our Scandi Dancers started about 6 years ago. Well, Lloyd took it upon himself to record all kinds of CDs with different music on it, timing each ones and checking it for volume and sound, and really going through them real good, so that he had about 2 minutes and 15 seconds for each one, so that we could do different pattern dances and perform. And this is what we do today. We're as busy as we can be, as much as we want to be. We can be busier if we wish, but we do as much as we can. But Lloyd goes to these places in advance, checks them all out, makes maps for them, makes the CDs, he takes pictures, he choreographs, notifies all the dancers, sets up the players and the speakers, and then he even photographs the chicken dances and waltzing that we do with the people that live there. I think Lloyd has told me that Scandi Dancers he considers to be part of his family, and we consider ourselves to be part of his. And I'd like to quote what Lloyd told me. We think the Scandi Dancers do a very great service for going into the various places where we are booked to entertain people who are pretty well housebound. He says, I can see in their faces and the pictures that I take, we bring happiness and smiles to those who were not smiling before, and that makes us smile too. We can go away with a good feeling inside that we have brightened someone's day. Lloyd, we of the Scandi Dancers are forever grateful for your unselfish devotion, patience, leadership, inspiration, generosity, and teaching that you've done with all these dances that you've shown, and we are proud to be a part of your family. Thank you.
I never thought that this late in life that I would be doing things like that. I'll tell you, but it's so much fun, and we have like Darrell just pretty much mentioned it. We have a motto, and that motto is that our happiness is seeing others happy, and we see it every place we go, especially towards the end of the program when we gather around, and we have I found a real good recording of Kate Smith. I'm sure you all remember Kate Smith singing "God Bless America," and we all have a flag, American flag, in our hands, and when she gets to the climax of the song, then we raise our hands and wave our hand, raise the flags and wave the hands. And I see pictures that have been taken of those in the audience, and they're doing the same thing and crying, but it's happy crying, tears of happiness. So that makes us happy. So anyway, that's our latest adventure. Thank you all for being here. Thank all my kids and my brother and my sister-in-law and some of the Scandi Dancers, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yes, we're going to ask Lloyd's whole family to come back up here.
You're part of the family too.
I just wanted to add a few things that his family was too modest to mention. In gathering information by talking with his family members, we learned quite a bit about Lloyd. And one of the things we learned is that when Lloyd took up a hobby or an interest, he didn't do it halfway. He did it all the way and got really enthusiastic and involved, and we can all attest to that. And we're so blessed here to have Lloyd as one of our family at Normanna here. I was told, and this might be untrue, that you were the second of 5 children born to Norwegian immigrants. Is that true? You were born in Mount Vernon. September?
Oh, Abbott.
Okay. All right, Lloyd graduated from Mount Vernon High, is the year correct here? 1932? 33, I lied. And he married Peggy in 35?
35, yeah.
Okay. They had 4 children, 8 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren. And I think it's pretty amazing that all these 5 children that were born of the Norwegian immigrants, all of them still are with us and doing really well to this day, which I think is fantastic. Lloyd was widowed in 1996, and he married our lovely Martha in 97. And anyway, I certainly thank everyone for participating. And Lloyd, congratulations, this is your life.
Thank you.
Okay, stay up here, Lloyd, and we want your family to come back. We want to get some pictures here.
Get the dancers, so can we do it down? Sure, down below, that's fine, get the dancers.
Get 'em up
We got
here.
one that can't.
Harold,
Get 'em
get 'em
up
up
in
there.
front. Yeah, get them up in front.
Martha, is that in my white bag, my camera, you want to get that? Maybe Daryl can get it. In my white bag, there's my camera.
Has it got film at this time?
Yeah, right. No, I think that,
You're the real family.
Lloyd, stop directing, you get in the middle of the picture.
I'm still a wedding photographer.
Lloyd, we need you in the picture.
Yeah, I just want to see how
You'll be right at the end there. That's okay. Betty, you can stay down there.
Now we're getting organized.
Somebody please say
Colin Powell, Leanne Womack, Diane Wiest, and your host.